This is a tier list, and this is a bunch of Souls-like titles. Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Hollow Knight, you already know. And today, I am gonna be ranking all of these games on that tier list, starting on F, and then B, and then C, all the way up to our little pretty S tier. And then, we, as true epic gamers, will choose a game to be on the S Plus Mega Miyazaki fanboy, thank you a lot Miyazaki-san category. But first of all, primera cosa, what is a Souls-like? Everything is a Souls-like nowadays. Checkpoint, Souls-like. Healing system, Souls-like. Hard, Souls-like. And honestly, I don't really mind. This is a genre that, quite frankly, almost always delivers at least good experiences. So if a lot of games are Souls-like, I don't care. But for the sake of this video, what I consider the Souls-like was basically what I searched on Google. I searched on Google Souls-like and these games popped up, and that's what I will be considering as Souls-likes, okay? You might not be in agreement with me, but I don't care. Also, of course, I'm not gonna rank every single Souls-like because that would be virtually impossible, but I chose the most important ones, you know, the ones that you wanna hear, the ones that are your favorites, they are probably here, okay? Let's start the video. Demon Souls, starting with the father of them all. Even if not the most popular and just between you and me, not the best, this is undoubtedly the first one, okay? If this game didn't exist, I wouldn't even be making this video for all that I know. I have very mixed feelings towards this game. Like in my review, I gave it an 8. But honestly, now that some time has passed, I don't really think that he deserves it. I would probably have given him a 7 out of 10. I have to stop giving ratings in my reviews because I never agree to them after some time. Anyway, I only played the remake, okay, the very superb version. But even with that, Demon Souls really feels like the backbone, the structure of what Miyazaki and his team was trying to build. It really feels like the first game. Like you feel what type of creative vision they were trying to portray on that game. That fairy tale, almost unreal like experience. They really nailed the vibe of you feeling like a sensible explorer in a crazy-ass world. Just look at the majority of the bosses. How am I supposed to defeat them? How am I gonna reach that fucking monster? So vibe-wise, there's nothing really to complain, and they kinda transmitted that type of vibe quite well into the other games of the franchise. Now the rest really needed some work. The levels are extremely linear, which for the most part isn't really that bad, but if compared to the other titles, it really needed some work. I mean, it's not comparable into being lost in the middle of a cave with 20k souls shitting your pants. It just isn't comparable, okay? They also fucked up the run to the bosses. Actually, it took them some time to get it right. I was never able to understand that whole thing of running 2 minutes to the boss, passing through enemies just to die again, and having to do that run all over again, just never entered my brain. And the bosses, even if, as I said, have cool designs, they give you a lot of cool vibes, are not really compared to a normal Souls fight. It's just gimmick based. And the ones that are more normal, just like the Penetrator, love that name, don't really leave a big mark, and they never pass that B level. They don't reach above B ranking, and that's partially the reason why I'll never do a Demon Souls boss ranking, because I don't really think that the bosses deserve that. They are really not that cool. They just deserve a B, and interestingly enough, the game will also get a B. The first Souls-like game gets more or less in the middle of the rank. Dark Souls 1. Well, I said that Demon Souls was the father of them all, but it is quite debatable, even though it is clearly the first game of the genre and the one that gave its bases and yada yada, we all know that. The one that truly popularized the formula was actually Dark Souls 1, and it's time to talk about it. The game that saved everyone's lives, apparently. The game that is the cure for depression. From now on, psychiatrists should include Dark Souls in their treatment plans. The first Souls game for a lot of people, and an incredible game to this date. This game is really one of a kind, and even though it is not my favorite, I feel like he is the one that stands out the most. Mainly on the way that it makes you feel. Like, this isn't a perfect game by any means. Clunky as fuck, fewer build variety for today's standards, the run to the bosses fucking suck, half of the game also fucking sucks, and the bosses, even with some few gems in the way, are really not that special. But still, this tiny game, this little experience moved and moves players, moves YouTubers and their videos, including me, moves nerds out of their house dressed as knights into cons. I really hope I can find a picture of that, because otherwise I will be sad. It really is something special, and all of that because of one simple feature: surpassing struggle. For teaching players that yes, things can be hard, and things will be hard. You are fucked in this life and in this game. Bro, just look at this dude. Don't you think you are about to get obliterated? But regardless of that, regardless of anything that is expecting you, the only thing you can do is put your helmet on, take your tiny sword, and kill that motherfucker, because mama raised a soldier, not no bitch. Also, the world design is very cool and everyone already talked about it, and it's not a weird guy with Spider-Man glasses that will teach you how much this world is amazing. I let that for other serious YouTubers. The art style is also very cool, and I do have a lot of nostalgia linked to it, which yes, is very important. Overall, this is the game that almost everyone likes, and it was really the one that exploded the genre. If it wasn't for Dark Souls 1, I would also not be doing this video. So West here for our little game right here. Dark Souls 2. And now, by what I just said, you might be thinking that nostalgia isn't really a proper way to talk about a game, mainly on a tier list. Of course you are going to rank it higher because of nostalgia. That's obvious. Shh. Firstly, I rank whatever I want in the way I want because I'm a G. And secondly, no, nostalgia, sometimes it's not the determining factor for a game's ranking. Because, and listen closely, my first Souls-like was actually Dark Souls 2. Yeah, buddy. My first Souls-like was Dark Souls 2, and I still think that it low-key kinda sucks. Look, this game is weird. On one hand, it really feels like a good evolution. It has new combat mechanics like the power stance, the armors are very well made, and the areas in this game are absolutely incredible, and some of the best areas in the entire series. You can go down this fucking hole. There's a place where there's dragons and bridges, and I felt like a fucking badass walking slowly on them. There's Majula, and that music. Just feel the vibe of Majula. But then the rest is absolute dog shit. It has become a meme by now. Everyone knows not to mention Dark Souls 2. They really thought it was a good idea to make my character drink mud, because that's the only reason why it's taking that long to chug that fucking shit. They fucked up the rolls, they took them, put them in a trash bin, took that trash bin, placed it on a Slipknot concert, vomited on them, and waited for the clown to smash that fucking shit because it fucking sucks. Oh, but you can actually level up the rolls. No, you can't. That's a myth. This is so absurdly stupid what they did to the rolls. The bosses also suck ass, and I don't think that there's even a B tier there. Not counting the DLC, I didn't play the DLC, okay? Maybe that's on me. But regardless of that, the main game doesn't have a single good boss. At least that I can remember. And of course, we need to mention the worst feature of them all. The thing that makes me not wanting to replay this game. I wanted to replay this game, but I won't just because of this. The run to the bosses. What in the actual fuck? Why do I have to run through 20 fucking enemies just to reach the boss and enter the fog arena, like enter the fog, and get hit again because that shit doesn't have invincibility frames? How is that even petite? And not just to run to the bosses, okay? The overall quantity of enemies in general. My Shrine of Omana gameplay could have been recorded and placed on PH, because that gangbang would have made millions of views. I am sure of that. That's why I don't replay Dark Souls 2, because I don't want to take part on those gangbangs. I just feel violated, okay? It just sucks. It just absolutely sucks. But even with that, even with all of this, I still kinda enjoy the game and have very good memories of it. I mean, it was my first game and it will always have good memories coupled to it, like watching it on YouTube. I firstly got to know the game on YouTube on a channel named Nioh 21, and I watched that shit on there and I thought it was incredible, a game with knights and swords. And then I went to the game and I defeated this giant boss with, I think he takes out a leg or an arm, I don't really remember, but then you enter Majula and you walk slowly on Majula. I just have those memories in my brain and I kinda cherish the game because of that. Just because of that. And well, because of those cool moments, I kinda have to give Dark Souls to the B tier. And yes, I enjoy it more than Demon Souls. If it wasn't for nostalgia, I would probably place it on C tier, but well, as you can see, apparently nostalgia does have a big weight on ranking a game, and I don't really care, to be honest. Just shut your mouth. Let's wrap up the trilogy, okay? With the last of the trilogy, Dark Souls 3. And let me do something, okay? Top of the S tier for now. Next, okay, just kidding. But it is indeed on top of the S tier for now. But for a completely different reason if compared to Dark Souls 1. DS1 is here because of the feeling that it gives you, because of overcoming struggle, because of that amazing level design, because of you feeling that even if shit is hard at the moment, you will always find a way to get through it. Dark Souls 3 is here because of this. Don't get me wrong, it has a cool philosophy of letting things of the past go, and it has Ash, and it has a lot of fan service, but come on, we all know why this game is absolutely incredible. This, and I will say it right here, this game has the best roster of bosses in any game ever. Like each enemy that you face, each boss that you face gets crazier and crazier. There's a hollow metal armor with a dragon, a weird dragon. There's another guy with a dragon, but this time he's the god of lightning. There's a front flip man. There's a dragon that spits fucking dark fire or whatever that shit is. There's a twin with a guy on his back and he has legs that don't work. The music is impressive, the arenas are breathtaking. This is what makes the game, no doubt in my mind. It also has some other cool stuff, like the weapons are very cool, the armor is very drippy, the lore is also nice. There's cool stuff in the game and there's also bad stuff in the game, like vibe-wise it's not really that great if compared to other games. The areas are also not really that great if compared to other games, but we don't care about any of that shit. We just don't care. Bosses, kill the bosses are amazing. I almost get when defeating the bosses, so it goes to the S tier because of that amazing shit. Blasphemous. And now we enter the area of, is this a Souls-like? Well, as I said, I searched on Google Souls-like and this game popped up, so it's a Souls-like. And I feel like it is a Souls-like. Come on, look at the aesthetics of this shit. It's a Souls-like. I dropped it, yes. But I dropped it in a different way, because to be a special individual, you need to do special things. I played the entire game, I reached the last boss, and I didn't play it anymore. And I promise you, it wasn't because the boss is super hard. I tried it one time, and then I died, and I was like, I forced my way through the entire game. I didn't want to play it, and it's not that the game is bad. Mainly the art style is amazing, but the combat is decent, the levels are decent, the bosses, again, the art style of the bosses are amazing. It just didn't feel the game, it just didn't touch me that well, like my uncle. So I reached the last boss, and it was like, yo, I don't want to play this anymore. And I dropped the game, I dropped it. I didn't care. So yeah. I think that if you like Souls-likes, and mainly if you like indie games, you might like this game, but it just didn't resonate with me, I guess, so it goes to the C tier. And of course, as you can imagine, I didn't play the second one. I'm not a psychopath. I didn't like the first. It's not that I didn't like it, you understood, it's a C tier and didn't play the second game. Fuck it. Keeping up with 2Ds that most likely are not even Souls-likes, but I don't care, you know. Yeah, love it. Just absolutely love it. The boss part. The levels, not so much. I was never a fan of running and gunning, but the bosses, holy macaroni with cheese. All of them are at least good. I don't even think that there's a C tier boss on that game. Really, they are really that amazing, mainly on the aesthetics. And they are also super hard. The flower helped me The dragon, holy shit, the mermaid, oh my god. But that's not even the best part of the game. What really makes this shit stand out is the artistic vision. Look at the quote-unquote graphics on this shit. Look at the animations. Just hear the musics, hear the sound effects. This really feels that it was made with so much care and love. And you don't even care if you die to the bosses. You don't care if you are raging out of your mind for dying 70 times, because that means that you will be able to appreciate this again, this vibe again. Bosses are amazing, music is amazing. I don't really like the levels are kinda shit, but it's a very good game, and I think it deserves an A tier. Hollow Knight! This game surprised me in a very good way. This was the first 2D game in an indie setting that I played, and it blew my fucking mind. I firstly got to know this, and it firstly got into my head because of the art style. This is just clean. You know those perfect Chinese balls that they use aluminum and they put them very perfectly well put together, and it's really round and perfect, and I would eat one if I could? Hollow Knight feels like that. It is also round and cute. It really gives the impression that the developers, the 3 developers, that still fucks up with my head, gave their all to make this. Nothing feels out of place. Every animation is well thought, every piece of scenario needs to be there. Every enemy design breeds creativity. Every corner of that world emanates a brilliantly unique vibe. Look at me, seated all comfy on a bench. Look at me scared out of my life in this hell of a section. Look at me, all depressive in the deep void. If you felt nothing while playing this game, or even if you will go on YouTube and you don't feel nothing watching these scenarios and these vibes, you are not even welcomed on this channel anymore. Just leave. You are not welcome here, okay? Bye. But this is just one of the amazing points of this game. The bosses are amazing. They are hard. They have, again, a brilliantly well-crafted design. There are secret areas in the game, secret entire areas. Combat is really precise. The platform moments are amazing. There's a huge amount of stuff to pick, collectibles, items, these weird bugs. Also, the progression on the game is amazing. The way you find stuff, the way you slowly unravel the mysteries of that world. And yo, the lore, for the little that I understood, is very well made, and I think that the lore man should do some videos about it. An amazing game. I played 50 hours of it and it felt like it was 20. And not to mention the absurdly hard DLC. I didn't pass it because I didn't really feel like playing it, but I am almost sure that I wouldn't even be able to finish it because it's so ungodly hard. But by what I saw, it also is filled with so much quality content. Only thing I don't like about this game is the fact that Silksong is probably a misconception. It doesn't exist, okay? Besides that, this is really almost a perfect game. It's not for everyone, not everyone will like it, but for what it tries to do, it kinda is a perfect game. It does everything well. I can't find a single bad place, a single bad point, a bug. There's nothing. Okay, I can't find a bug, haha. It's an amazing game. It will join the GOATs over here because Hollow Knight is really a GOAT. And yes, there are many GOATs. Fuck the meaning of words. Can a Bridge of Spirits. We just talked about a game that has an almost unmatched art direction, and it is personally probably on my top 3. I never gave too much thought to it, but it's probably there. So let's keep the theme and talk about this little Pixar Souls-like animation. To make it simple, everything I said about Hollow Knight could basically fit here. Everything feels so round and so cutesy, and everything feels like it needs to be there. It's so cute. It has a vibe of its own. Look at all these cutesy blacky things. I want to collect them all. Now, problem. This is the best feature of the game. In Hollow Knight, everything is a 10 out of 10. In here, not so much. We have the 10 out of 10 art style, and then we have the game. Look, you can be pretty as shit, but if the rest of the game sucks, then it fucking sucks. And she's kind of a mine. I'm just being a bad person. The game doesn't really suck. It has a lot of pretty good moments and pretty good characteristics. I don't know what I'm saying, honestly, but It's not that bad, the combat is functional, the bosses are good and, you know, are a C or a B, they're around there. There are some cool puzzles, the story is, yeah, you know, it's a story. I don't know, it just doesn't try very hard. The game never tries to reach the stars, and that's what it makes it feel like a more dull experience, a more pale experience. You don't feel like anything important is going on because it really isn't. It's just a cute, good-looking game that's very simple. But I like it. It was a fun adventure, and it's a B tier. The Surge. Ranton says it's cool, because I never played The Surge. Actually, I played a little bit of The Surge, but I didn't really like it. Me no play. Code Vein. Kimochi Yamete. That game launched on a moment in my life where I was really into anime. But I didn't have a lot of money, so I never bought the game, so I never played the game. Nowadays, I have the money to buy the game, but I really don't feel like playing it because it doesn't seem that amazing. So, me no play. Yamero! Don't know what the hell was that. Let's just forget that it happened, okay? And let's dive into a metaphorical masterpiece about wanting more and more knowledge and losing yourself in the pursuit of knowledge and gods and crazy experiments. Bloodborne. We all know this game, and it really is a full package on what you would like to want on a Souls game. But it has some minor issues. The game is great, but it has some bad points, and I want to talk about them firstly, just so we can kiss the game after a bit. The healing system, the blood vials. I don't know what was on the team's head, I don't know what was on Miyazaki's head. I just never was able to swallow that shit, and listen to me, I swallow a lot of weird stuff. I just don't get it. They fucked up a healing system that for the eyes of many, including me, was already perfect. Thankfully they understood that it fucking sucked and they never brought it again. Cool. Secondly, the fact that I can't respec attributes. I know that this is a very recent thing, but I really felt like I needed it on the other playthroughs that I did of Bloodborne. I mean, sometimes I just want to experiment a weapon and I just can't, which sucks. And thirdly, the bosses. I know, just wait, don't kill me now. When I say that the bosses are one of the negative points, don't mean that the bosses suck, okay? There are some absolute bangers. There's literally Ludwig and Lady Maria and German and Amelia. There's a lot of amazing and good bosses, but I feel like the amount of them, like overall, just isn't there. It's not comparable to a Dark Souls 3, for example. Again, I don't really care that much. It has some amazing bosses. Would I like more amazing bosses? Sure, but I can live with that. And well, these are essentially the only problems that this game has. Yep, and to be honest, 99% of the time, I don't really remember them. Because the rest of the game reaches such high levels of quality that it is almost unfair to compare it to almost any other game out there. And it also touches on topics that I just absolutely love. That enters more on the subjective part, but what were you expecting, hey? Huh? Objective thinking and math while I'm sitting on a green thing? And again, Spider-Man glasses? Gameplay, outstanding. It is a hack and slash. So fast, so good, but that while being methodical. You can't just attack everything without thinking because you will die. It also has the thing with receiving damage and then you have to attack right after to heal the damage you took, which makes you be more aggressive. But again, with a more thoughtful nature, you also have the switch of the weapons. You have a weapon that's actually two weapons, which makes them very unique. And about uniqueness, the art direction, look at the way that these weapons are presented. Look at this enemy, look at this arena, look at this world, look at the vibe of this world. And this art direction, this absolutely incredible vibe is here for one thing and one thing only. Immerse you in this world and in this amazing lore. Perpetual seek of knowledge, crazy cult people, weird monsters, dimensions, being able to see other ways of the world while you get more and more knowledge. I can't explain you why I love this so much. I just can't use words to do it. But I can use a graph. Look, see? This is from happy to set, and this is from normal stuff to what the fuck is this, a creature with 1,000 eyes? See the line? Read the graph? Yeah man, I'm indeed kinda weird. And this game is also indeed kinda weird, and that's why I love it so much. Not to mention all of the level design and all of that nerdy shit, who cares? It's spooky, it's beautiful, it has a very fun gameplay, it has a lot of good weapons to choose from, and it's undoubtedly an F tier. Yeah, it's an F tier. Why? Because we don't have 60 FPS. It's not on PlayStation 5, it's not on PC. This game fucking sucks, okay? Actually, it fucking sucks. And fuck you, Miyazaki, fuck you From Software, only one tier for you. And it's F. Bitches, N-word. Okay, I am calmer now. I promise, I promise. Let's talk about the spiritual successor of this timeless masterpiece that it's actually fucking bad. Lies of P. Didn't finish. Next. Kidding. Partially kidding. I really didn't finish Lies of P. I got into the Puppet King, I think that's the name of the boss, on the time where the DLC of Elden Ring also came out. It was more or less the same time. So you know, of course I'm gonna play Elden Ring. And even though I already finished the DLC a long time ago, I don't really feel like playing Lies of P again. I just don't have it in me, and I probably won't touch it again. Still, I played some hours of it, and I think I got a good grasp into what the game is, and I think I can kinda rank it properly, so let's do it. It's pretty good for what I played. It mixes a lot of features from other games, like the healing mechanic from Bloodborne, like the parry from Sekiro. It has that thing where you always have one more heal to use, which gives you that little bit of hope. The combat itself is very interesting. It feels a little bit slippery, but it's cool and it's kind of precise. It also has the prosthetics and whatnot, so I think it all makes up for a good combat. The level design is pretty cool. I don't think it's comparable to a Dark Souls or to a Bloodborne like a lot of people said, but I think it's okay. But overall, in everything that I said, I don't think it reaches the level of a game from Software, for example, like a lot of people said. Again, look, the bosses, even though cool, are not really that special, and the cooler one is really the Puppet Master, or the King of Puppets, I don't really remember the name. Maybe that changes from that point onwards, but I really doubt it. The weapons are interesting. They have that thing that I forgot to mention where you can mix a handle and the body of the sword, and it leads to new weapons and weapons with new abilities and whatnot, so I found it very cool. But overall, I don't think it reaches the level of a From game. And I think that people just fell victim into wanting more Bloodborne, and they saw this game and they thought it was a complete masterpiece. Whoa, it is better than the games from Software, and it's not. Come on, you all know it's not. You all just wanted a Bloodborne 2 and they gave you that and you swallowed. But overall, okay, overall it's a cool game. Don't think I'm being a bad person. I think it's cool. I just don't think it is everything that everyone said. Mainly, and you take in consideration, for example, that there's not a lot of enemy types. You'll be fighting the same enemy again and again and again and again. I don't know, man. I just don't feel that it is as good as people say. But it's still good. And it's still a B tier. I still can give you that. Hello, people from YouTube. I am very sorry to interrupt, but I essentially forgot 2 games. I'm very sorry, I do the scripting and everything off the top of my head, so casualties like this can happen. Basically, I forgot to mention Darksiders 3, didn't really like the game, thought it was boring, the story didn't grab me, the art style is cool, and the combat is decent, but I don't know, man. The bosses, beh, the world design, didn't like it, just not my thing. The other game that I forgot to mention was Sifu. That game, on the other hand, is very cool. If you like beat 'em ups, if you like Sekiro, if you like being a fucking Jackie Chan master Shaolin, I very much recommend this game. I only played it until the 3rd act, just because I felt like it. I felt like I've played enough of the game, and I dropped it afterwards. But if you like those types of games, if you like beat 'em ups, I very much recommend it to you. I'm gonna give it a B tier because, I don't know, it just didn't explode my head, but still, if you like that genre, if you like Sekiro, give a chance to this game. You will probably very much enjoy it. I'm being dead serious, okay? That's it. Back to editing. Nioh 1 and Nioh 2. These are very similar games, and they do essentially the same stuff the same way, even though they are going to receive different ranks, but I'm going to talk about them coupled, because I don't think I need to talk about them separately. Firstly, I want to mention that this is basically what a video game looks like an old video game looks like. And why? Because I don't know anything about the story. Don't ask me about the story. I don't care. This is all about the gameplay. Yeah. Do you know the story of Super Mario? Of course you don't know. You just want to kill Goombas. And it's basically the same here. But instead of jumping on top of turtles and Goombas, I am slashing demons. The combat of these games is a masterpiece. So fast, yet so precise. You have 3 stances that you can use, and you need to switch the stances in between gameplay because it's needed. You also have rifles, a big array of weapons, each of them unique and really fun to use. And on the second game, and that's why I'm going to rank them separately, you also have the parries with the demon form, and it just made the complexity and the fun of the game go into a whole nother level. Truly, I remember loving the last fight of this game just because of the parry. It is so satisfying and fun to use, man. And and also, this game is absurdly hard, 1 and 2. And I'm not talking about the bosses. The bosses are manageable. There are some instances where you will die a lot of times to bosses, but I don't remember being stuck like I was with, for example, Radan or Melania. In this case, in this game, what is really hard is the levels, man. The levels are fucking brutal. The enemies deal an absurd amount of damage, and there's always traps, and they come out of nowhere to fuck you up. It's really fucking hard. Honestly, I think that I died more times to the levels than to the bosses. So if you haven't played this game yet, prepare yourselves. I really love these titles, and 100% of it due to the gameplay. It really is amazing, and it takes a lot of FromSoft, but it does it in their own unique way. So boom, Nioh 1 A tier and Nioh 2 S tier. It's just is better, more weapons, better combat. You can do a female character with extra large boobs. So yeah, 2 games carried out by the gameplay essentially. Oh, and the art style is also amazing, forgot to mention. Kawaii! Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Those were very well made katana, anime, what the fuck games, okay? But they are not the GOAT of the samurai games. They are not the GOAT. I mean, Sekiro is Sekiro. You can't say anything on that regard. Sekiro is Sekiro. And this is yet another game completely carried out by the gameplay. Like here the enemy design isn't really something absurd because this is more of a samurai tale. It has its big monkeys with big swords, it has its bulls with fire on the head, but overall it's samurais, and it's okay. The lore is also nice, but I don't think it's comparable to its other comrades, because what really matters is the way you feel while playing. It's the thing that tickles the G-spot, okay? In my humble opinion, and most likely right opinion, this is the best combat system ever created, ever crafted by mankind. Hard as nails, satisfying as fuck, and for some reason makes you feel like you are always watching a damn movie, mainly while defeating the bosses. It just feels like you are watching a movie, okay? And you feel like you are the main character. You are not dodging, hoping to not getting hit. You are not running away. You are not trying to hide yourself to heal. No, you are dashing to the attacks, deflecting them and jumping on your enemy's head. Once you get the combat down, you become the boss. What a feeling and what a game. Now, of course it has some other cool features like the level design, the enemies, the prosthetics, whatever, yada yada, whatever, kaka. We don't care about any of that. This game is amazing because of the combat, because of the gameplay, because it's fun, and it goes to the S tier. Wulong Final Dynasty, talking about Perry, the spiritual successor of Sekiro. Is it good? No, it fucking sucks, I think. I played the demo and then I saw some reviews and it was too easy and it low-key kinda sucked for a lot of people, so I didn't play it, okay? Me no play. Also, me no play the Fallen Order, both of the Fallen Orders. I just never thought they were that cool. Mortal Shell. Wish I didn't play, but unfortunately, I played it. But yeah, let me explain why I didn't really enjoy this game that much. And I can do it in very few words. It's a Dark Souls made in China. Yeah, it feels cheap, it feels rushed, and probably a 3-year-old child worked on it. Like, cool aesthetics, but it is too dark for me, cool level design, but not enough complexity, and the levels aren't really that memorable. And what about the enemy design? Again, I don't remember any enemies, so I think that speaks for itself. But all of this could be thrown to the side if just the gameplay was cool. But the gameplay is the worst part of the game. It has some cool mechanics with the hardening and the weapons are somewhat cool, but it feels so fucking slippery. How am I supposed to play a game and how am I supposed to have fun with the game if I feel like I'm slipping away through the enemies? It doesn't feel precise. When I attack, I feel like I'm attacking everything at once. I can't really explain it. You have to play it, but once you play it, you know what I'm talking about. And it goes to the D tier. Still, if you like the genre, you could probably give it a chance. Maybe I'm just weird, and indeed I'm just a weirdo on top of a green screen. So if you like the genre, please do yourself a favor, maybe try it. I don't like it. I think it's a D. It's not an F because it's playable. God of War. The ranking that I'm gonna give to this game might personally offend some of you, but I don't care, grow a pair. I mean, I don't really know if this is even a Souls game. But at the same time, look at this. If this isn't a Souls game, then basically the 9/11 actually happened. Look, in terms of graphics, gameplay, story, vibe, enemy design, world design, puzzles, it's an S tier, okay? I can't say anything on that regard, it's an S tier and it is one of my favorite games, but I might change my opinion next week. But listen, I just can't give it an S tier because of Ragnarok. The last section of Ragnarok just fucked my relation with the game. And not because it's bad, but because I was expecting so much more. And also this game, compared to the other S tiers on this list, I think it lacks up a little. I really enjoy a lot more Bloodborne or Sekiro or Hollow Knight than God of War, so yeah. But let's take that to the side. Let's look at it objectively, just alone. I also can't give it an S tier because of the ending of Ragnarok, man. And it really is sad because I absolutely love this game, and weirdly enough, if I look at it, like, I can't explain it. I look at it and I see that everything is perfect, and then we reach the end and it fucks up the two games completely. It fucks up my perspective of those two games completely. Like, I gave it a 10 out of 10 absolute masterpiece on my video, my first review. I gave it a 10 out of 10 absolute masterpiece, and I think it's a 10 out of 10, but at the same time it's like an 8 out of 10 because of that fucking ending. And that video now is absolute dog shit because I don't really think about the game that way. It really is sad. I think that they fucked up on that ending, and so I'm gonna place it into the A tier. It might change in a week. I might change my feelings towards it. Regardless of that, for now, it's an A tier. It is what it is. Don't dislike the video, please. By the way, if I didn't get it clear enough, I'm talking about the two new games, okay? The other games don't have anything to do with this, okay? They are not even Souls-likes, I think. It's about God of War 2018 and Ragnarok. Jedi Fallen Order. This more or less falls into the category of God of War in terms of, is this truly a Souls-like? And again, it is a Souls-like. Come on, look, it's a Souls-like. But well, let me just say that I didn't play the most recent Jedi Fallen, not Jedi Survivor or whatever. I didn't play it because honestly I didn't care. I don't really care about Star Wars, to be honest, and I played Jedi Fallen Order. I didn't really like it. It has a very good ending, and for someone that doesn't care about Star Wars, that ending was the shit, even with me not caring about Star Wars. Darth Vader, scary as hell. But the rest of the game didn't really grab me, and of course because of that I wouldn't play the second game. But well, the one that I played gets the C tier. It has a cool combat, very mediocre bosses, it has one or two that are good. I didn't like the exploration, I didn't like the story. It's a C tier, it's fun, okay? And if you like Star Wars, it might be higher for you. For me, it isn't. Remnant from the Ashes. Cool ass concept. Dark Souls with guns, and I played it with friends. Still not my cup of tea. I would never play it alone. I just don't like the game. I don't like the art style. I think that it is inflated with enemies, making it not difficult but stupid. Enemies crawl out of every single place. I think it's interesting the fact that it's generated randomly, but the bosses are absolutely forgettable. I don't remember one. Okay, I remember there's a guy that flies and it sucks. It's not that fun to play, to be honest. The weapons are really not that cool. It's not that hard. I mean, it's hard as fuck because of the amount of enemies that come to you. I just really didn't enjoy my experience and I played it with friends. But I guess it's playable. I can't give it an F tier. It's a D. And you know what they say, keep the best for last. Time to talk about my favorite game of From Software, newly added to the favorite list because of this amazing additional content. Elden Ring. Elden fucking Ring. This game has one problem, and I want to talk about it very briefly, just to prove that I'm a fanboy, and I just want to talk about the good, okay? So let me take the bad stuff and say it right now. Repetition of bosses. We all know it happens, okay? Okay. We all know it sucks, okay? Okay. We all kinda don't care, so wonder and exploration. This is exactly what this game makes to perfection. And because of this, because of those, you go to a new place and you are met with entire fucking areas, entire fucking worlds for you to explore freely. And the thing is, you can actually go to wherever place you see. But in this game, there's a catch. Usually, in open worlds, you can also go to whatever place you see, and I developed more on that topic in this video, but usually going into those places that you can see is just boring and it fucking sucks. In Elden Ring, you see a place and you decide, okay, I'm going there, and you go there with your horse, and there's enemies, and you attack the enemies, and yo, there's a puzzle here for me to solve, and you solve the puzzle. When you solve the puzzle, you're like, whoa, what was I doing? Oh, that place, and you go, oh, a cavern, and you go to the cavern, the cavern, and you're like, yo, you do the cavern, you get a new spell, you get a new item, you get a new what the fuck, you kill a boss, you get out, and you, oh yeah, that place, and you go there, and there's a stupid fucking boss that you also want to defeat, and it's fucking cool, and it's fucking amazing. There is NPCs, cities underneath cities. There is quests for you to do, there is weapons for you to catch. But I just can't get enough, because you take this amazing world, you take this amazing exploration, and you add the fact that there's virtually infinite ways for you to play it with different build paths. Look at the amount of build variety you can do. You can be really strong, you can be a mage with fighting, you can be whatever the fuck you want. And then they added the DLC, which has a lot of new weapons and different kinds of weapons and more spells, and it doesn't make sense. And by the way, let's talk about the DLC. What the fuck? How is this even the DLC? This shit is bigger than fucking Bloodborne or Dark Souls 3. FromSoft is fucking our brains up. We will want from now on DLCs that look like this. And it just won't happen. Miyazaki just fucking bamboozled us. He said that the DLC would be about the size of Limgrave. And it is, but if Limgrave was fucking obese and with a lot of stuff for you to find in between all of those pieces of fat. It's so good, from the bosses that, oh my god, they are amazing and they are hard. And then there's the weapons, which are amazing. And the areas in this game are absolutely outstanding. It looks like a fucking painting. There is a mountain with fucking a bunch of dragons and lighting that is red. There's this place that it's probably the most calm and beautiful piece of area ever created by lines of code. And then there is an area that even your horse is scared of. And there's these dudes that you can't attack because they will suck your soul. What in the hell? Little viewer, this DLC and this game shouldn't exist. I now want every game to look like this and to feel like this, and it just won't happen. Okay? And hey man, I didn't even talk about the lore. It mixes medieval themes with the themes of Bloodborne, with outer space gods, and this time it's not eyes, but it's a weird guy that looks like a spermatozoid. The music is also amazing. The enemy design is also brutal, and there's so much variety to it. I'm gonna have a stroke. This is an S tier. My man, what an incredible game. And we are done with the tier list, by the way. So now, before we actually end, let's see what is the best Souls-like ever made on the S+ tier, with Miyazaki being my crush and whatever the fuck I said. So, by my enthusiasm talking about it, you already know one of the picks, Elden Ring. Elden Ring is absolutely amazing, and it is my favorite game from Software, period. It's incredible. But I also need to point out another game, which is Bloodborne. Yes, it's not an F tier, it's actually an S plus tier. For a very long time, like from 2022, Elden Ring and Bloodborne were my favorite games, and I think that they are indeed the ones that stand out the most. They just do stuff in a way and present stuff in a way that's not normal. And well, this is it. This is the final tier list. I'm really happy with the tier. And now I want to ask you, should I play these games that I didn't play? Do you think it's worth? Just for you to know that I don't play games that much anymore, so is it worth to give my time to them? Next game I want to play is like Black Myth Wukong, but I'm gonna see. So should I play these games, or should I play any other game that's not on the list? What do you think? What is your favorite Souls-like? Just use the comment section to give me those insights, because I want to know about you, my little viewer. So yeah, this is it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm begging you, please. And peace from soft addicts. Carai, borracha.